Hey everyone, Rob here, and I have some updates on the eruption going on in Iceland. And we have some footage here, and this is from a couple days ago, but it's from Almannavarnadeild ríkislögreglustjóra. It's a agency, civil protection basically, here in Iceland of the eruption that's been going on for the past while. This is on their Facebook page, and they've allowed everyone to use this. They have a bunch of other photos of the eruption, which I'm going to also show from them. But we also have a lot of news. So let's, I guess, get to it and just stop this for a second and go over to this map here. Now, experts from the Institute of Natural Sciences and Land Survey of Iceland went on a survey flight over the eruptions on April 8th, so 2 days ago. And based on the data collected during the flight, it was possible to estimate the size of the lava bed and the lava flow during the eruption. The results show that the power of the eruption has steadily decreased, which of course is really good news. And you can see some of the thickness of the lava. Here in the darker red is the thickness in meters, and you can see the legend towards the left. Now, the average lava flow from the craters between April 3rd and 8th is estimated at 3.6 plus or minus 0.7 meters cubic per second. Based on data collected by EFLA Engineering Institute on April 3rd during a drone flight, the average lava flow was estimated about 6.6. So we're looking at about a half cut since March 27th to April 3rd. Now, the area of the lava bed is 6.14 kilometers squared, and the volume is 31 and change million meters cubed. Now, recently, lava has flowed mostly south from the crater, but it temporarily flowed a short distance to the north on Sunday evening when the rim of the crater ruptured, as discussed in a lot of the news agencies and news updates that have been saying. Now, on this map, again, is the thickness of lava. It's obviously the thickest, and we can just zoom in over here, thickest in this dark red area here. And that's just near the center of the crater and a little bit south. So that's showing how it is mostly going south. And you can see, of course, if we zoom up, we see some little bit of thickness here, and then the Blue Lagoon off to the side. So it is respecting the Blue Lagoon more or less, and following these barriers towards the south, and it hasn't hit the water like we were all thinking. No clear signs of lava flow at the dikes north of Grindavik, and so it's just kind of settling here, and it hasn't really moved much more from that. Now, land rise, though, which we're always talking about, that continues at its speed. It's increased over the past week, and at the same time as the power of the eruption has decreased. So we're seeing the power of the eruption again decreasing and land rise increasing at the same sort of interval. It indicates the majority of the magma that flows under Svartsengi gathers there, causing increased pressure, and of course the land mass to go with it. Now, during the eruption, however, there's still an open connection between the magma collection area in Svartsengi and the Sundhnúks crater series, and part of the magma flows to the surface, of course, as we're seeing. Now, this eruption is still ongoing as we speak. Seismic activity in the magma tunnel at Grindavik continues to be very low, which is good news, and is mainly between Snillingafell and Stora Skogfell, but only in the western part of Grindavik, which is, yeah. So we're going down over in this sort of area, the west of Grindavik, which is, good news for most of people of Grindavik. At Fagrasfell, a small earthquake activity has been ongoing over the past few months. That's still continuing. They remain very localized, though, at a depth of about 6 to 7 kilometers. All of this seems to be connected, though. Now, gas measurements carried out on April 8th estimated that about 10 to 18 kilograms per second of sulfur dioxide, so it's SO2, flow from the craters. Temporarily high levels of sulfur dioxide continue to be measured around the eruption and in settlements on the Reykjanes Peninsula. Now, if you've watched some of these videos before, these are deadly gas emissions. Now, gas emissions from the volcanic eruption are likely to cause pollution in the Reykjanes Peninsula area, and the Meteorological Agency is advising people in the area to monitor air quality and learn about reactions to air pollution from the volcanic eruption. Moving over to the risk assessment map, which we always see. Again, this is coming out just April 8th. So the risk assessment map It's been updated. It's valid from, April 8th at 3 p.m. until April 16th, as long as there's no changes and everything's kind of staying the same. There are no changes in the risk assessment map, and the risk caused by gas pollution is still assessed as high in all areas except for the Sund-Nox Crater Series, which is Area 3, where it's assessed as very high. And so Area 3, of course, is the area purple, so Sverige 3, and that's where the eruption is currently taking place, which is why the gas pollution is very high right there. The risk area in Area 4, which is Grindavik, so the sort of redder area, and Area 6 still assessed as high due to landfall in the fissure and, collapsing of stuff and fissure movements, lava flow, gas contaminations, all of the bad stuff. So those are still categorized there. And they do say that although the power of the eruption has decreased, there's no signs that the overall flow of magma from the depth is decreasing. And that's a really important point. It refers to the total amount of magma that accumulates under Svartsengi plus the magma that flows to the surface during the eruption of the Sund-Nox Crater Series. It is difficult, though, to predict when this eruption is going to end. Could continue for a longer time with constant flow, or maybe even stop in the near future. And as magma continues to accumulate under Svartsengi and the pressure there increases, there's also the probability or possibility that the power of the eruption will again increase, as we saw happen in Fagrudsfjall in 2021. Now, if the eruption does stop in the near future, it's most likely that magma accumulation is going to continue again, and we will see a repetition of what we've been seeing month and month, going on. The crazy thing is we are now in April, and so we've seen an eruption in December, January, February, March, and April. So that's 5 months of eruptions going on here in Iceland. Let's take a look at some of these amazing pictures from the Civil Protection. Again, doing helicopter flights, you don't really get the size of it until you start seeing the actual cone of it. If you're a person, and there's no people, of course, in these photos, but you're really quite small. But you can see here from these photos the size of everything that's been going on. Speaking of all of the gas pollution and all of the terrible things that are going on around the eruption, the Blue Lagoon was open during the eruption. If you saw my post just a couple of days ago, it was talking about how they're going to open again. I thought it was crazy. And here we are on April 10th with the Blue Lagoon being closed. You can drive there, apparently. So there's green on the road, means that the road to the Blue Lagoon has been opened. The eruption is just beside it, and it's kind of like there's a webcam here, but you can't really see the eruption, but that's all that. But the Blue Lagoon, here it is from April 10th, which is today. They had an announcement saying unfavorable air quality forecasts can affect opening times to the Blue Lagoon, and all facilities are closed on April 10th, and they're planning on reopening tomorrow, April 11th. So they go on and on about how the power of nature, blah, 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 opening and closing all the time. Now, let me remind you that an employee at the Blue Lagoon was hospitalized due to these gases. So if you're thinking about going, keep that in mind, because even though they have all these gas meters and emergency alarms, if you have any breathing problems or asthma, that might not be the best place for you to go. And you can see here, they have a bunch of links, and there's the air quality index over here for the Blue Lagoon. It's looking green-ish, whatever that means. And then we can see here the graph of course, terrible spike in the, today. And apparently it's going to get better, but we can see here that it's quite high for sulfur dioxide. One thing, though, and I was taking a look at the Blue Lagoon's cancellation policy, and they say that, here we go here, the Blue Lagoon reserves the right to cancel all bookings and reservations when unable to provide the company's services due to force majeure events, such as, but not limited to, weather, strikes, natural disasters, or any other irregularity outside the company's control. In such an event, no compensation or refund is payable. So those of you that are going to be booking at the Blue Lagoon, take a good look at this, because if they open tomorrow, you say, oh yes, I'm going to book for the next day, and they cancel it because of the weather, according to their policy, they will not refund you because, natural disaster, weather, all of this stuff. So it's something that you definitely need to, to be aware of, because that's, that's not good. I mean, there's all this other stuff here that they talk about. They're not responsible for any loss, damage, accidents, or anything like that due to natural disasters or irregularity, losing anything, So all of this, speaking of natural disasters, there's a volcano currently erupting just around the corner from the Blue Lagoon. Workers have been hospitalized due to the gas. They've had to close because of the gas. People near Keflavik Airport, which is quite far away from the Blue Lagoon, if we take a look at this map of the road, the airport here versus the Blue Lagoon, where there's down here the closed road. People in this area have been told previously, due to the air quality, to close the windows and doors and keep everyone inside because it's so dangerous. There's some warning on how long things are going to take, but for me, again, I wouldn't be sitting in a lake with the chance of an eruption intensifying or gas just making me dizzy, uneasy, and if you have breathing problems, forget about it. If you have small kids, even, I would just say, until it's safe to do so, and until it's safe that they allow people to go near the volcano at all times, the Blue Lagoon is not somewhere that you want to be hanging out. So we'll see. The funny thing is, last time I actually said that about the Blue Lagoon, I had YouTube try to take the whole channel down, which was kind of interesting. That the day after I criticized the Icelandic government and Blue Lagoon for opening, the next day, YouTube tries to take it. And I've got that all sorted out. Thankfully, I had someone from YouTube outside of Iceland review my channel and deem it worthy enough to stay on. But there you have it. Not sure if someone in Iceland was involved with that, but I just thought it was a very strange coincidence of all those things occurring. But huge amount of news coming in. I'm, of course, not posting every day just because there's a lot. I'm going to put a link to this video. If you're on YouTube, you can take a look and watch this. This is very nice. There's some live streams going on. A lot of Icelandic news, but of course I know that not many people who watch the channel follow the Icelandic news. And I'll keep you posted with all the updates. Again, Blue Lagoon's opening tomorrow, and we'll see how that turns out for them. So, but until next time, thanks so much. Remember to subscribe if you like it, thumbs up, all that good social media stuff. It always helps.